Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Brandon Moravilius, right here with you today with Raider Baseball coming your way here this evening from beautiful Raider Field here in Selma, Indiana. We have the 0-1 Muncie Central Bearcats taking on your 2-0 Wapahani Raiders. Glad to have all you with us here this evening on what is a cloudy and wet day. We was originally supposed to schedule this game and play this game tomorrow night at Muncie Central, but due to weather that's going to be coming in, we end up moving it to tonight out here at Raider Field, and the field's in great shape. Obviously, the coaching staff has came out here and obviously put a lot of hard work in, make sure this field was in great condition, and looks fantastic. So great job there to the coaching staff. I know Superintendent Brian Rouse was out here mowing the outfield grass as well, so kind of all hands on deck, but it's a beautiful evening, I guess, so to speak, to play some Raider baseball. So we're eager to get things going here this evening with our Raiders Live pregame presented by FC Tucker, Muncie Realtors, Ted Cook, and Joanne Davis. Again, Wapahani coming into tonight's game 2-0 here on the season. A pretty nice start. They just played actually last night, or yesterday afternoon rather, down in Tennessee. This is the first time that Wapahani had ever took the team on the road to essentially another state, and for an opening game such as that, and being able to come out there and play as well as we did, definitely encouraging. Now as you come into tonight's game, we took on the Middle Tennessee Monarchs in the first game, won that one by a final score of 11-1, and then we played Cornersville, Tennessee, in which we won that by a final score of 8-5. So you come off a couple of very good victories to open up the season last night. You now come into tonight's game against Muncie Central. That Muncie Central, they're 0-1, but this is another opportunity for them to come out here and get a W. So I'm sure they're going to be well prepared and ready to go here for this evening's game. But Wapahani, again, just like anything else, you got to have it in all facets of the game: pitching, defense, hitting, everything we got to be able to do correctly here. Base running, not running into outs. So, again, this is a nice look of what we had yesterday, but hopefully that translates into even better things here tonight for your Wapahani Raiders. Now, again, this is a little bit of a new look team, not a whole lot different than what it was last year. You're now without Stephen Vickery, also Chandler Wise. Those two guys are definitely hard to replace. They contributed a lot, not only to the team last year, but their whole entire 4 years out here at Wapahani. So it's going to be tough to replace them here, but, just like anything else, next man in line. You got to come out here very well prepared and be ready to go. And I think with some of these younger guys now that's coming up to play on the varsity team, you might have a little bit of somewhat inexperience, but it's better to get them out there, get them experienced, and hopefully as the season goes along here, this will be a very well-oiled machine because the potential is there, the talent's there, and so hopefully we're in store for a very exciting season this year. Now, again, I did want to make sure and let all you guys know, this was a very short notice for us to be able to broadcast tonight's game. So unfortunately, my cameraman Jordan Redbeard McCoy could not be here. So this will be our camera view here this evening. Just so all of you know, it's obviously not going to be more in depth like we normally have it. But due to the short notice, we was just notified of this game tonight about 2 hours ago, and unfortunately, he couldn't be here this evening. So we'll do with what we got here this evening. We hope you enjoy the game, and we're really looking forward to another year of Raider baseball. Also, Lady Raider softball coming up next week. We're excited for that as well, and we hope all of you join us throughout the season for some action-packed Raider sports right here on the WHS Network. So, folks, this has been our Raiders Live pregame presented by FC Tucker, Muncie Realtors, Ted Cook, and Joanne Davis. We'll step aside here for a brief break, and we'll be back here with tonight's starting lineups coming up right here on the WHS Network.
We know the right way to get you where you need to go. We'll be the
You need legal advice or representation, you can trust B. Joseph Davis, attorney at law in Muncie. Our focus is personal injury. We handle cases involving serious injuries, wrongful deaths, all vehicle crashes, nursing home cases, medical product and drug recalls, and slips, trips, and falls. No fee until we win. We offer evening, weekend, home, and hospital appointments for your convenience. Contingency fee arrangements are available. For a free consultation, call B. Joseph Davis, attorney at law, today.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here on the WHS Network here on YouTube.com as we have tonight's starting lineups. First and foremost here for Muncie Central. Starting off here with the center fielder, number 30, Jared Willis. Batting second and catching, number 3, Zach Garrett. Also batting third and playing shortstop, number 4, Ryan Johnson. Batting fourth and pitching, number 13, Dylan Gonzalez. Batting fifth, the designated hitter, number 12, Jaden Miller. Batting sixth, the third baseman, number 6, Ethan Cox. Batting seventh and playing first base, number 26, Aaron Perkins. Batting eighth, second baseman, number 1, Sam Buchanan. And batting ninth, the left fielder, number 25, Larry Lampkins. Again, the Muncie Central Bearcats are coached there by Norm West. Now we'll take a look here at the starting lineup here for your Wapahani Raiders.
And now, introducing your Wapahani Raiders.
So we'll start off here with leading off here, the center fielder, number 15, Garrett Stanley, batting second and playing second base, number 21, Riley Porter. Batting third and catching, number 3, Tyson Lipscomb. Batting fourth and playing first base, number 17, Brevin Rivers. Batting fifth, playing third base, number 22, Braxton Davis. Batting sixth, the pitcher, number 16, Nolan Dudley. Batting seventh and playing right field, number 10, Seth Adams. Batting eighth, the shortstop, number 5, Evan Roush. And batting ninth, playing left field, number 11, Isaiah Brozier. And the Raiders are coached by Brian Dudley, assisted by Jason Dudley, as well as Willie Pease, Blake Turner, Randy Murphy, and Shane Summers. So, folks, we have the national anthem coming up here in just a brief moment. We'll be back right after this for tonight's first pitch on opening day 2019. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here on the WHS Network on YouTube.com. Again, here with Raider Baseball coming your way here this evening. Again, from the beautiful confines here of Raider Field, as your 2-0 Wapahani Raiders take on the 0-1 Muncie Central Bearcats. Folks, at this time, we'll go ahead and take a look here at our Jones Auto Body defensive alignment here this evening. Again, out in left field here, we have number 11, Isaiah Brozier. Out in center, Garrett Stanley. Over in right field, Seth Adams. Around the horn here, we have Braxton Davis at third. Also, Evan Roush at shortstop. Riley Porter at second. Brevin Rivers at first. And then the old battery mates here, we have Nolan Dudley on the mound and Tyson Lipscomb behind the plate. So, again, that is our Jones Auto Body defensive alignment here for this evening's ball game. Again, Wapahani coming off of a good victory yesterday to open up the season. They're down there in Tennessee, right around the Nashville area, and you come off a lengthy, I guess, trip down there. I think it's right around a 5.5-hour drive down there. Then obviously on the way back, you play a couple games, and now you come back out here today, ready to go, playing against Muncie Central and what should be a very interesting matchup here for today's game. So we'll start off here with the Muncie Central Bearcats will lead off tonight's game with the center fielder, number 30, Jared Willis. Again, Nolan Dudley on the mound here today. Really didn't see him pitch last year. I know he primarily played JV last year. I don't think he really played any kind of varsity. Might have dressed. But kind of a little bit of a new look here for Nolan, as little wildness there to begin the game. Already here 1-0 the count. Just got to get the I guess the first pitch jitters out of the way here. Might take an inning or so, but I'm sure Nolan will be ready to go here today. A little bloop shot in the right field, and that's going to land in there for a single. So already a runner on first base after Willis gets on there with a leadoff single in the right. So now we'll see the catcher, number 3, Zach Garrett, at the plate. Again, the middle infielders, Roush and Porter, playing in double play depth here. Let's see if Dudley can roll one up right here for us. And here's a pitch. Runner going on the play, and he'll slide in there safely at second. So Willis in there with a stolen base. 0-1 the count here on Zach Garrett. And Dudley will step off the mound. So Garrett will step back in. Here's Zach Garrett, the catcher here for the Bearcats. You got a runner out there already in scoring position. Dudley will come to the set, and here is the pitch. Bunted to the third base side. Davis makes the play on the first, and that will be the first down of the inning. So a well-placed bunt there by Zach Garrett gets the job done there. Little a 5-3 sacrifice bunt put down by Garrett. So again, Willis now at third. The shortstop, number 4, Ryan Johnson, now stands in at home plate. Again, with a man on at third, one out here in the inning. And swung on and missed. Nice smother job there by Lipscomb to keep the ball relatively in front of him there. Now 0-1 here on Ryan Johnson. Following him, we'll see the pitcher, Dylan Gonzalez. Again, a pretty decent crowd out here this evening, considering, I guess the weather, the short notice of everything, kind of being switched around. But it's always a great day when you can play some baseball right out here from beautiful Raider Field. So Johnson back in there, 0-1 the count. Dudley will come to the set, and here's the 0-1 offering. It's going to drop right on in there for called strike 2. Nice pitch there from Nolan. And again, it's really one of the biggest things here for any pitcher, making sure you're changing your speed. And he came with fastball, now curveball. Now let's see what he goes back to here. See if he can get a strikeout right here. Another breaking ball low and away to run the count now to 1-2. But, being able to change speeds, hit your corners, not keeping everything, maybe in the same eye level as well, changing the eye level a little bit. Just trying to do anything possible to keep the hitter off balance, as that ball is just a little bit low there. To even the count up here at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, you got Willis on over there at third. Reached base on a leadoff single, stole second, and then advanced on the third after the sacrifice bunt by Garrett just a moment ago. And a big-time strikeout there by Nolan Dudley. So now 2 outs here in the inning.
The pitcher, number 13, Dylan.
And now the pitcher, number 13, Dylan Gonzalez, now at the plate. As Dudley is just 1 out away from escaping a little early game trouble here. A little bit outside there now, 1-0 the count here on Gonzalez. Dudley looking to slam the door shut here on the inning, but if not, we'll see the designated hitter, Jaden Miller, waiting on deck here in just a brief moment. Here's a 1-0 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 1, to even things up here at 1 ball and 1 strike. Dudley again gets the signs here from Lipscomb. Here's the 1-1. Swung on and missed, strike 2. So he's got that off-speed pitch working here for him, keeping the hitters off balance. I wouldn't be so surprised here if he might go back with that, or maybe a little high and end fastball. Went up with a fastball there, got him swinging for strike 3, and that's going to end the inning. So Muncie Central had a leadoff base runner. Nothing to show for here as Nolan Dudley collects back-to-back strikeouts to slam the door shut here on the inning for the Bearcats, as Muncie Central gets no runs here on 1 hit, also no errors, and 1 left on base. We'll head to the bottom half of the first inning here on the WHS Network. We'll be back with more right after this break. Stop on in at Jones Auto Body, owned by J.R. Fain in the 1901 East Memorial Drive in Muncie, Indiana. Jones Auto Body is one of Muncie's oldest and largest auto repair and paint shops, in which they have been serving the community for over 30 years. Jones Auto Body, assurance of quality. All righty, welcome back here, folks, as we take a look here at things here for Wapahani. Coming into the season, as I mentioned earlier there in our Raiders Live pregame, you got a couple guys missing here. You have no more Stephen Vickery, no more Chandler Wise, so a slightly new look to the team. But still a lot of the same guys still out here putting on the old Raider uniform and hopefully looking for another fantastic year. The Raiders last season as a team had a .343 batting average and a .345 on base percentage, which is extremely crucial because not only are they, not only hitting the baseball, but they're able to get on base. So whether that be by hit, walk, whatever means necessary, the Raiders definitely took care of business, and that is something that I really hope to see much more of here this season. I think you have definitely a very athletic group of guys here that I think can play multiple positions. I don't know, you're probably still going to have some moving around, with different guys pitching one day. You might have another guy, filling at whatever position the case might be. But, when you have guys that are athletic and versatile and it can come out here and really showcase many talents that they have, it really gives you the edge for every single ball game here. So hopefully these guys are ready to go, get the boomsticks a-going here early in this game, and we'll lead things off here at center field, number 15, Garrett Stanley. Garrett had a fine season last year. I think Garrett on the season, he had close to 400 average on the year, as that's a frozen rope down the left field line, foul. So 0-1 to begin things here on Garrett. Definitely a guy, right there at the top of your lineup that not only can hit for a great average, but can get on base, wreak havoc on the base pass with some speed. And, when you got some hitters behind you, that definitely can put some runs up on the board early and often. So a ball low and in there to even things up here. 1 ball and 1 strike on Stanley. Gonzalez here with the pitch, and that's going to be a ground ball to the shortstop. He'll throw on the first and pulls the first baseman off of first base. So a leadoff base runner after the error on the throw by
the second baseman, number
the
21,
shortstop. So E6 on the play, Stanley on at first. And we'll have the second base, number 21, Riley Porter, now standing in. Gonzalez comes to the set. Stanley takes off, and he'll be in there rather easily at second base. So no problem there. So 1-0 the count here on Porter. And time will be called, and they're going to have first baseman come in a little bit here. We'll see what's on here. We'll see if Porter might bunt here or just swing away. Here's the pitch, and looked to have been swinging away there. It's going to be a call to strike, and Stanley will be in there safely now at third with another stolen base. Not too many times do you see a left-handed catcher either. That's a very rare occasion when you find a left-handed catcher out there. But nevertheless, we'll see what Porter can do here. That's going to get by the catcher, and Stanley will go ahead and stand in there safely at home plate as the Raiders draw first blood here this evening with a 1-0 lead. So a wild pitch allows Stanley to score. It's 2-0 the count. Or pardon me, 2-1, excuse me. And, just a bit outside the mark there. Now 3-1. So Porter, I'm sure at this time, probably feeling a little uneasy. But he'll step back in there nonetheless here. 3 balls and 1 strike. The count here on Porter. Here's the pitch. And a ground ball down the third baseline, foul, which will now run the count to full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. You have Tyson Lipscomb on deck waiting patiently here for the Raiders. He had a walk-off 3-run bomb yesterday to win it there for the Raiders in that second game there against Cornersville. Also, Riley Porter had a home run yesterday. Tons of offense here for the Raiders through the first two games. Here's the 3-2 offering, and that's going to be outside. So Porter, very patient at bat there as he'll trot on down to first base with a walk. And so the Raiders looking pretty good here early. Had a leadoff base runner there by Stanley on the throwing here by the shortstop. Stole second, stole third, then a wild pitch, scored Stanley. Porter draws a walk here. And now you got your heavy hitters here in Tyson Lipscomb and Brevin Rivers, as well as Braxton Davis coming up. So Gonzalez comes to the set. Here's the pitch, and swung on and missed. And that's going to get by the catcher. Porter getting dirty down there at second base, as he will slide in there safely. So 0-1 the count here on Lipscomb. Getting Porter now out of second. Gonzalez gets the signs. Here's the 0-1. And just a bit up in the zone now, and even the count here at 1-1. Getting Lipscomb last year led the team in average, 406 average. Got 6 doubles, 5 triples, also 34 ribeyes. So looking for another big year here for him. Last year for him as a senior, so I'm sure he'll want to come out here and have another great showing here for himself to hopefully put the team over the top. So 3-1 the count here on Tyson, with Brevin again waiting on deck. Porter at second. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be a ground ball right through the 3 and 4 hole on the right side of the infield. Porter is going to go ahead and trot on home. Lipscomb will now trot to second base. And essentially the wheels kind of fell off there in that play for Muncie Central, but a nice pair of hits so far here for Wapahani. Lipscomb being able to get the RBI single that scored Porter.
The first baseman, number 17, Brevin Rivers.
So Brevin Rivers now stands in. And here's the pitch, and a ground ball to second base side. He'll throw on the first, and that will be the first down of the inning. So a 4-3 put out for out number 1. Again, Lipscomb now advances on to third base. And now standing in will be the third baseman, number 22, Braxton Davis. And a ball outside, 1-0 to begin things here on Davis. Nolan Dudley on deck. Again, still 1 on, 1 out. Man at third base, and Lipscomb. Here's the pitch. And a ball low in the dirt, now 2-0. So Gonzalez having some early game struggles here with some command. And that's a deep drive in the left center field, and the left fielder somehow makes the catch. That was a heck of a grab right there. I'll give him that one. So the Raiders will score the run on the sacrifice fly by Braxton Davis.
The pitcher, number 16, Nolan Dudley.
So 2 out now in the inning. And a pitcher, number 16, Nolan Dudley now to plate. Again, to my knowledge, I don't think he played varsity last year. If he did, very minimal action. And that's going to hit the young man in the head, for goodness sake. So Dudley will make his way down to first base. Sure hope the young man's all right. That Tell you what, you get a pitch up there right around the head region there. That's always dangerous. So might be having a little ringing in the ears, but hopefully Nolan will be all right there. So still 2 out, and now 1 on base. Dudley now on over there, and looks like we might have a courtesy runner. So we'll have now Caleb Henderson running here for Nolan. So Seth Adams now to play.
The right fielder, number 10.
Got a 3-0 lead already here for Wapahani. Henderson now over at first. So now it looks like we're ready to get back to baseball here. Gonzalez back on the mound here. Down 3-0. I'm sure he'd love nothing more than to get this last out here, but hopefully the Raiders have other ideas. The Seth Adams here at the plate. Evan Roush to follow him. And the 1-0 pitch, and that's going to be skied into foul ground on the third base side. Will anybody get there? Nope, I don't think so. So that's going to be a strike. Now to even the count up here at 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike here on Seth Adams. Again, Caleb Henderson over at first. 2 out here in the bottom half of the first inning, and again the Raiders with a 3-0 lead. And Henderson running on the plate, going to have to get dirty there, and that's going to be caught stealing is Henderson to end the inning. But hey, the Raiders strike for 3 here in the bottom half of the first, take a 3-0 lead after 1. We'll step aside here for a break, and we'll be back here with the top of the second coming up live on the WHS Network. All right, folks, welcome back here with the top of the second inning here from Raider Field here in Selma, Indiana. We appreciate you all for joining us here for some Raider baseball as we head to the top of the second. Here again, the Raiders, their last inning, was able to collect 2 hits on 3 runs as well. And nowheres. We end up changing the ruling there on the Garrett Stanley one. I'm not quite sure if he would have got him anyway. I think that he probably would have beat that play out over there at first base. So we're going to, I guess, kind of redefine that there a little bit, change the ruling, and give Stanley a hit. I feel a little generous there, and I think like I said, I think he really would have beaten that out. So nevertheless, 2 hits there for the Raiders, 3 runs, and already a nice little cushion here for today's ball game. Looks like now it's starting to rain slightly here. I'm not Not quite sure if that's just somewhat a little bit of the humidity in the air, or might be a little bit of a misty rain, but nevertheless, we're playing some baseball here today. 0-2 the count, and that's going to be a ball outside now, 1-2. So Jaden Miller, designated hitter here at the plate. And the pitch by Dudley swung on and missed, strike 3, so that will be the unfortunate way of things there for Miller as he heads back to sit down there on the bench.
Number 6, Ethan Cox.
So 3 consecutive strikeouts here for Nolan. Again, we hope he's all right. They're in the bottom half of the first inning. Took a pitch right off the head. Obviously, it hit the helmet, but still not something that you really want to deal with there from his standpoint. You hate to see that. It'll be a ball outside down. Now, 1 ball and 1 strike. Getting 1 out here, nobody on here to top the second. Pitched by Dudley there. That's a mixture of Nolan and Dudley at the same time. So now 1-2 the count here on Ethan Cox. Third baseman here for the Bearcats. See you later. Pull the chainsaw. That will sit down Cox there for out number 2 of the inning. 4 consecutive strikeouts here by Nolan Dudley. So Dudley's got it going here so far, so good here for the second inning. As first baseman number 26, Aaron Perkins, now stands in at home plate. And a pitch will be swung on and missed, 0-1 to begin things here with Perkins. Following him will be second baseman Sam Buchanan. We'll see if it gets that far here. Dudley in a groove right now. That's ball low in the dirt now, 1-1. Dudley gets the signs here from Lipscomb. Here's the pitch. Catching the outside part of the plate now, 1-2 the count. Nice framework there from Lipscomb. It's always great to have a great catcher behind the plate. Be able to make those pitches look even better than they already are. As that ball is up in the zone now, 2 balls and 2 strikes rather. Yeah, nobody on, 2 out here in the top of the second inning. And the pitch, just a bit outside to run it to full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here on the Bearcats' first baseman. Here's the payoff pitch and fouled off. So we'll redo it here at 3-2. Dudley with a windup and the pitch. Strike 3. Pull the chainsaw. He gone. Second inning of work here for Dudley. A nice, inning there for Nolan. 3 up, 3 down, 3 strikeouts here in the inning as the Raiders lead at 3-0 after an inning and a half. We'll be back here with more Raider baseball coming up on the WHS Network. Welcome back here, folks. Again, Brandon Morvillius right here with you here this evening for Raider Baseball. As we head now to the bottom half of the second inning here for your Wapahani Raiders, as you can see there on your screen. Wapahani here with a 3-0 lead to begin things.
Leading off for Wapahani in the bottom of the second inning, the right fielder, number 10, Seth Adams.
So we'll lead things off here with Seth Adams. And that will be in there. Called a strike. 0-1 to begin things here with Adams here in the bottom half of the second inning. Again, he was up there in the bottom half of the first. And Henderson was caught stealing out there second to end the inning. As that's going to be a ball up in the zone now. 1 ball and 1 strike here on the Raiders right fielder. Got Evan Roush to follow. Here's the pitch from Gonzalez. Just a bit outside. Now 2-1. Up and in right there. Now ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike here on Seth Adams. And the Raiders plated 3 in the first. Looking to add to that total here in the second inning. As that pitch will be swung on and missed up in the zone. Now 3 balls and 2 strikes. So Adams will step back in there. Gonzalez gets his signs. Here's the payoff pitch. And a ball inside. So Adams will march his way on down to first with a leadoff walk to begin the inning here for your Wapahani Raiders. So now we'll have the shortstop number 5, Evan Roush, now standing in.
Evan Roush.
Roush last year played a very important role there. Bounced back and forth from second base to shortstop. Sure, we'll probably see some of that, a little bit of that here this year as well. But Evan had a real nice season here for himself, and hopefully he can have a great season this year as well. So Gonzalez will step back on the river there. Adams gets his lead over at first. And the pitch there will be low and away. And 1-0 to begin things here on Roush. So 1 ball, no strikes. And the pitch swung on and missed. Adams going to have to get dirty, and he's going to be out at second. So a straight steal there to no prevail, as that will be the first out of the inning. Just missing the outside part of the plate. So 2 balls, 1 strike here on Roush. Brozier on deck. Gonzalez. Got a science here from his catcher. Here's the 2-1 offering. Ball up and away. Now 3-1. Just kind of making his way through the ball game here this evening. He's had some struggles here early, as that's going to be popped up on the first base side. First baseman will have the room and will make the catch for out number 2 of the inning.
The left fielder, number 11, Isaiah Brozier.
So Brozier will now stand in. Got 2 out, nobody on. And that's in there. Call the strike on the outside part of the plate. Now 0-1 here on Brozier. Top of the lineup coming up with Stanley on deck. Here's a pitch. Just a bit low there now. Even the count here at 1-1. Expecting some nice things here from Isaiah in his senior season. Inside there now 2 balls and 1 strike. A very impressive left fielder. He can still do some stuff there with a bat as well. Not a big time hitter. He's probably not going to go out there and hit 10, 15 home runs this year. But tell you what, Brozier can do quite a bit of things with a bat, and like I said, plays an above-average left field. Little swinging bunt, if you will, and he's going to be safe over there at first. That's going to be by the first baseman down the right field line. Here goes Brozier moving around second, heading to third, and he will go in there standing up. So a hit and an error allowed him to reach third base. So a way to get things done right there.
Stanley.
So again, the scoring will be a hit. Obviously, they weren't going to get Brozier there. And the ball went sailing by the first baseman down the right field line, which allowed Brozier to reach third base. So the hit and then the error on the throw by the pitcher gives the Raiders a base runner now in scoring position with the top of the lineup up here with center fielder Garrett Stanley. Reach base there on a hit. And that's a frozen rope down the left field line. Sneaks it in the foul line. That's going to be extra bases there for Garrett, and the Raiders put another one up on the board. A very nice approach there by Garrett, and the Raiders now lead it 4-0. So Garrett now with 2 hits here on the day, collecting an RBI.
The second baseman, number 21, Riley Porter.
So now we'll see the second baseman, number 21, Riley Porter, now standing in. Drew a walk in the first inning, then stole a base and later on scored off of the RBI single from Tyson Lipscomb. Gonzalez comes to the set. Here's the pitch, and up and away. To begin things here, 1-0 on Riley Porter. Again, as I mentioned earlier, Porter with a home run yesterday. Looking to see if he can turn on one right there as he pops it up in the infield. Second baseman Cam Sundert, and oh boy, makes the catch. Made it a little interesting there. But nevertheless, here the Raiders strike for another run here as they get 1 run here on 2 hits. Also 1 error and 1 left on base. Folks, we'll head to the top of the 3rd inning here from beautiful Raider Field. We'll be back here with more Raider baseball on the WHS Network. Welcome back here, folks. Again, Brandon Morbilius right here with the top of the third inning here from Raider Field. Again, as your Wapahani Raiders lead it by a score of 4-0 as we head to the top of the third inning. Nolan Dudley on really has been pitching a gem here so far. Had a lead-off base hit by Jared Willis, but really since then it's been shut down pitching here from Dudley. Has 5 strikeouts, all now in a row. 2 strikeouts to finish the first inning, and then 3 consecutive to clean up the second inning there. Struck out the side there, so we'll see what happens here in the top of the third. Already 1-0 the count here on second baseman Sam Buchanan. Swung on and missed to even the count at 1-1. Here's the 1-1 offering. Ball low and in now. 2-1 to count. Pitch fouled off to the backstop area there. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes here on the Bearcats second baseman Buchanan. Dudley gets the signs. Here's the pitch. And just a bit inside there to now run the count to full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And strike 3 got him looking again. So 6 strikeouts in a row. 3 in a row now have been looking.
Left fielder, number 25,
That is
Lampkin.
that's never something easy for the hitter to go back to the dugout to talk to their coach about. Got to at least give it your best shot and take a hack at it, for goodness sake. But nevertheless, got 1 out, nobody gone here with the left fielder Larry Lampkins now at the plate. Already 0-1 to start things off here with him, now 0-2. So Lampkin steps back in there. Dudley gets the signs here from Lipscomb. Here's the 0-2. And a little bloop shot in the right field. Just hands right to the baseball right there. Got the job done and was able to get a 2-strike poke right there for a second hit of the afternoon here for Muncie Central. So that ends the streak of 6 consecutive strikeouts for Dudley. And also we head now to the top of the lineup here with the center fielder Jared Willis. Led off the game with a single and then was left stranded at third. So Dudley glances over there at first. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be in the left center field. And Stanley will get to it. He'll get it back in quickly here. So nice job there getting it back in. Keeps the runners here still at second and third. So back-to-back hits put together here by Muncie Central after a double there by Willis. Before him, a single by Lampkins.
The catcher, number 3, Zach.
So the catcher, number 3, Zach Garrett, now standing in. Got 2 runners in scoring position. Dudley in a little bit of trouble here, but he can get out of this mess. Got out of it there in the first inning, so just got to make the right pitches here, keep the ball down. Maybe try to change things up here a little bit. Again, he's had some success with being able to get the fastball up there a little bit, changing the eye level, then dropping the curveball in there as well, and drive out to center field, tailing away from Stanley. He'll make the catch, falls down, but he'll get it back in there. They might have a play at third, and he'll be in there safely. So a nice catch from Stanley, gets the out, but a run does score here for Muncie Central.
The shortstop, number 4.
So Lampkins scores on the sacrifice fly by Garrett.
2 outs. There we go.
So again, Willis now at third. And the shortstop, Ryan Johnson, now at the plate with one in and still one on at third. Nice curve right there. Being able to drop another one right on in there for a strike. 0-1 here on Johnson. Struck out the last time around. So no balls, one strike. Here's the pitch. Just a bit outside there, just barely missing the plate. Now to even a count at 1-1. Dudley gets what he likes here from Lipscomb. Here's the 1-1 offering. Didn't offer at that one. A ball low in the dirt. So now 2-1. It looks like slowly but surely maybe things might start to clear up here a little bit more. Be even better if we could get the sunshine to come out. Ground ball there to Roush, makes the play on over there to first, and that will end the inning. So a good job there by Nolan to limit the damage. Kept him only at one run right there. Could have allowed more, but obviously letting the defense play behind you. They made the plays, and we got the outs, and that's what matters most right there. So again, the Bearcats are able to score one run here on 2 hits, also no errors, and 1 left on. To the bottom of the third we go here, folks. A 4-1 lead for your Raiders as we head to the third. We'll be back after this.
We know the right way to get you where you need to go. We'll be the wheels underneath you, out on the road. We're driven to give you the best service. We're driven cause we know you deserve it. Stoops, we're driven to be the best. Stoops, we're driven to be the best.
Bottom half of the third inning here from Raider Field. Again, as your Wapahani Raiders now lead at 4-1. We'll get ready to start things up here momentarily. Again, the Raiders will be back at it next week. I think they have 2 or 3 games next week. We have Lady Raider softball as well. So obviously the season ramping up quick, fast, and in a hurry here. Just seems like that we just got done with basketball roughly about 3 weeks or so ago. And so now getting to the thick of things now with the Raider baseball season and the Lady Raider softball season. And we'll go ahead and lead things off here with the catcher number 3, Tyson Lipscomb, to open up this bottom half of the third inning.
Number 3, Tyson.
So you still have Gonzalez here on the mound. Kind of settled down there a little bit in the second inning. We'll see what the Raiders can do here in the bottom half of the third, as that's going to be a ball low and away now. 1-0 to begin things here with Lipscomb. Again, his first time up, had a RBI single, also scored a run. So now 2-0 the count. And a deep drive right field. Right fielder's there and will make the catch for out number 1 to begin the third inning. So now we'll see the first baseman, number 17, Brevin Rivers.
The first baseman, number 17, Brevin.
So Brevin grounded out there to the second baseman. Will sacrifice ground out to move the runner over to third. And that's going to be in there. Not called a strike. Thought that looked pretty good there, but said that it was up and out of the zone just a hair. So 1-0 to begin things here on Rivers. That's inside, nearly hit him now, 2-0. And swung on and missed. Now strike one. Now 2 balls, 1 strike here on Rivers. Pitched a good game yesterday. He pitched in the first game there against Middle Tennessee. Obviously still doing his thing at the plate as well. So now 2 balls, 2 strikes here on the Raiders' first baseman, with Braxton Davis waiting on deck. And a little nub shot down to the third baseman. It's going to be a close play. Makes a play on over there to first rather. And that will get him by about a step to collect the second out of the inning. So a 5-3 putout. As we'll see now, the third baseman, number 22, Braxton Davis, now standing in.
The third baseman,
Davis flew out to the left fielder. And the first inning, sacrifice fly there to score Lipscomb. So Davis looking to get something going here offensively for the Raiders here in the bottom of the third. And that's going to be right through the 5 and 6 hole over there on the left side of the infield. So a 2-out single here for the Raiders. Nice piece of hitting there for Braxton. And now the pitch here, number 16, Nolan Dudley, will head back up to the plate again. His first plate appearance was hitting the old noggin there.
The pitcher, number 16, Nolan.
Since then, looks to have been okay. Definitely not most ideal thing, I'm sure, that he would have liked to have experienced there. But nevertheless, he got on base. And a rope down the third base line, just foul. Really turned on that pitch. Got his hands through the baseball, exploded the hips forward, and man, that was a rocket shot right there. Unfortunately, couldn't keep it fair. So 0-1 here on Nolan. You have Seth Adams to follow him. So 0-1 the count. Again, you have Davis at first. 2 out here in the inning. And here's the pitch. Ball low and away. Now 1-1. Here's the pitch from Gonzalez. A little nub shot off the end of the bat, foul. Now you got to have the 2-strike approach here. Anything close, you're taking a good old-fashioned hack at it here and see if the bat can meet the ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Way outside there for ball 2. And that was a good job right there of the catcher to even get a hand in, be able to catch the baseball there. Guess it helps that he's left-handed. Already has the glove on the right hand, which was closest to the baseball there. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, and foul tipped again, so Dudley will stay alive. So again, we'll redo it again here. 2-2. Gonzalez comes to the set, and the pitch. And that's going to be over the head of Dudley. Nowhere close to the strike zone. So that will now run the count to full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Again, Davis now out there at second base after the wild pitch, and that's going to be ball 4. So a great at bat there from Dudley. And now you have Davis at second, Dudley at first. You'll have Henderson as the courtesy runner. And I'm not sure, we might be changing pitchers here, possibly. So during the mound visit here, we'd like to thank some of our sponsors here this evening. I'd like to thank Tom Cherry Mufflers, located at 321 West 8th Street here in Muncie, Indiana. Since 1946, Tom Cherry Mufflers has taken care of your exhaust, brakes, shocks, struts, and mufflers. So if you want the underneath of your vehicle to be looked at, then go ahead and make sure to stomp on in there at Tom Cherry Mufflers. No appointment needed. They'll hear you coming. So they're going to stick with Gonzalez here on the mound, at least for the time being. That was the first mound visit of the day there for Muncie Central. Again, still a 4-1 lead here for Wapahani. Looking to play add-on, though. You got Adams here at the plate. Drew a walk in the second inning. We're hoping for a little two-out magic here. You had the base hit from Davis there in the left field. Then Dudley just walked. Oh, my goodness gracious. Off of the back of Davis. So the pitcher completely fooled his middle infielders there. More importantly, the shortstop in specific. Which that could have been very dangerous right there. The shortstop didn't get over there in time. The pitcher just went ahead and threw it anyway. That could have went sailing into center field right there and potentially could have had runners here at second and third without any question. So Gonzalez here with a pitch. And that's going to be skied there in the left center field. And the left fielder will get there to make the catch to end the inning. So the Raiders got a couple of guys on there with two out, trying to look for a little two-out magic there. But Adams unfortunately couldn't get the job done there. Still unproductive at bat. Hopefully things will just continue to get better and better there for Seth as the day goes along here. So the Raiders, again, no runs here on one hit. Also no errors and two left on base. We'll head to the top of the fourth inning. Step aside. We'll be back here with more right after this. All right, folks, welcome back. Here we head to the top of the fourth inning here from Raider Field. Again, Wapahani with a 4-1 lead as we open up the inning. And a little pop-up there to the third baseman, Braxton Davis, to open things up. So one pitch and one out here for Nolan Dudley to open up the fourth. So now we'll see the designated hitter, number 12, Jaden Miller, now at the plate. He struck out swinging back in the second inning. So Dudley looking to make quick work here of the Bearcats here in the fourth inning as he gets a first pitch strike on Miller. Just a bit inside now to even the count. 1 ball and 1 strike here on Jaden Miller. Dudley gets a signs. The windup. Here's the 1-1. Just a bit low now. 2 balls and 1 strike. Swung on and missed. So that will now even the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody on and 1 out here in the top of the 4th. Again, Wapahani with a 4-1 lead. Just missed there to now run the count to full. 3 balls, 2 strikes here on Miller. There's the payoff pitch. And gets him looking for strike 3. Now 2 out now in the inning. Second strikeout now of Miller on the day.
The third baseman, number 6.
And now the third baseman, number 6, Ethan Cox, now at the plate. He struck out looking back in the second inning. So no balls and 1 strike here to Cox. Make that now 1-1. That pitch just missed. Here's the 1-1. Swung on and missed. Now strike 2 here on Ethan Cox. So in the hole here, and you're looking here at Dudley with a great opportunity. Go ahead and end things here in the 4th. Misses there, low and in. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes here on the Bearcats' third baseman. See you later. Blow him away with a fastball there to end the inning. So a pair of strikeouts here in the 4th. As the Bearcats get no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on. We'll head to the bottom half of the 4th inning here from Raider Field again with a 4-1 lead. We'll be back with more right after this break. Bottom half of the 4th inning here from Raider Field on a cloudy, or also a rainy and a little bit chilly Friday night of Raider baseball. Not too many times you're going to have a Friday night game. But here we are with the bottom half of the 4th inning, and we're going to lead things off here with the shortstop, Evan Roush. Ground ball right by the third baseman. Shortstop will come up with it. That's going to be a leadoff single here for Evan.
Yeah, baby.
So nice hit there from Evan to get things going for the Raiders here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. We're going to start off now with left fielder number 11, Isaiah Brozier. So Brozier had a single there in the second inning, later on scored. So Gonzalez had a brief little chat there with the umpire. Not sure what that was necessarily about, but a ball low And in right there now, 1-0 to begin things here on Brozier. After the leadoff single from Evan Roush, the Raiders already now 6 hits in the ball game. On 4 runs, also no errors. Muncie Central 1 run on 3 hits and no errors. So they're going to call that a strike. Thought that ball missed on the outside part of the plate there, but what do I know? Nevertheless, 1 ball, 1 strike here on Brozier. Gonzalez will come to the set, and the 1-1 offering, bunted to the third base side, foul. So the number 9 hitter here in Brozier, we got top of the lineup up to follow him. So right now, just all about execution here. You got to make sure get the guy over. You know the old adage goes there: get him on, get him over, get him in. So Brozier trying to get him over there. Doubt that the bunt sign will still be on here. Now just got to handle the bat. Very capable of doing so right here. Swung on and missed strike 3. So that will be the first out of the inning. And back to the top of the lineup we go here with center fielder number 15, Garrett Stanley. 2 for 2 here on the day here for Garrett, with a pair of stolen bases, also runs scored as well. So you still have Roush over at first, 1 out here in the inning. And that's going to sail over the head of the catcher again. So Roush will go ahead and stand up there at second base now after the wild pitch. So 1-0 here on Garrett. Looking for something he can drive right here with a man in scoring position. And that's going to be a ball low in the dirt right there. I don't even know. I'm not quite sure if that even made that one to home plate. So 2 balls and no strikes here to Garrett Stanley. Now make it 3-0. Another one gets by the catcher. So a brief pause in the action here. I'm not sure what all that was about there, but I think might have got him a new baseball. Not quite sure there, but nevertheless, 3-0 the count. Got Roush at third. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be called a strike.
No way.
And ball 4 inside. So now Stanley makes his way to first. 3 for 3 now on base here for Garrett Stanley. So momentarily we'll have another hitter here, and looks like we're going to have a little pitching change. Not sure now who's going to be the new pitcher. Might be the catcher, looks like. So the catcher will head to the pitcher's mound. We'll see who the new catcher will be then here momentarily. So that's the end of the day here for Gonzalez. Gives up, as of right now, 4 runs. Wait and see what happens here. You got Porter coming up here after the pitching change. Step aside here for a brief break, and we'll be back right after this. All righty, folks, welcome back following the pitching change. So, essentially the catcher and the pitcher just flip-flopped here. So, pitcher Dylan Gonzalez went from the mound to behind the plate, and then Zach Garrett went from behind the plate to the pitcher's mound. So, again, Zach Garrett now pitching here for Muncie Central. As that pitch will be fouled off, back and out of play, 0-1 to begin things here on Riley Porter. So 0-1 the count. Again, you got runners at first and third. Still only one out here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. And that's going to be a shot into center field. And there to make the play will be Willis. So Rouse scores. The sacrifice fly worked out well there as the Raiders put another run back up on the board to make it a 5-1 ball game. So now we'll see the catcher, number 3, Tyson Lipscomb. Lipscomb will stand in here, 1 for 2 here on the day. And a ball low and away. Stanley flying in there at second, and then the air and the throw allow him now to move on to third. So 1-0 the count here on Lipscomb. So first error of the day, second error of the day here for Muncie Central, as that ball was fouled out of play there on the left side. Now 1 ball and 1 strike here on the Raiders catcher, Tyson Lipscomb. The Rivers waiting on deck, 5-1 lead. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be off the knob of the bat there. So now the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Stanley standing over there at third base. 2 out here in the inning. Obviously Lipscomb in protect mode now. Here's the pitch, and a ball low and away. So now even the count up here at 2-2. So deuces are now wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. And the pitch, ball 3. So Lipscomb still in a very good position right here, and we're going to have another mound visit. Second one now of the opportunity here for Garrett. So I guess during this mound visit here, I'd like to thank some more of our sponsors here this evening. I'd like to thank Stoops Automotive Group, Buick and GMC dealership, owned by Randy Stoops, located at 4055 West Clara Lane in Muncie, Indiana. Stoops has a wide variety of brand new and pre-owned vehicles of quality brand names. So if you have an interest in a vehicle, make sure to contact them at 765-288-1903 and also visit their online website at stoopsauto.com. So back to baseball here. Following the mound visit here, you have still runner at third base and Garrett Stanley. 3 balls and 2 strikes is the count here on Tyson Lipscomb. And swung on and missed, and that will end the inning. So the Raiders get a run back. Now lead at 5-1 as we head to the top of the 5th inning. The Raiders here get 1 run on 1 hit, also 1 error, and 1 left on base. To the top of the 5th we go here from Raider Field, where Wapahani leads at 5-1. We'll be back after this. Welcome back here again with the top of the fifth inning here from Raider Field. Again, this is Brandon Morvillius right here with the call as usual. Hope all of you have enjoyed the game here so far this evening. Again, a little unorthodox than what we usually are accustomed to. Couldn't have my cameraman with me here this evening just due to the short notice of scheduling and everything else. But nevertheless, still hope that all of you have enjoyed tonight's game here so far. 0-1 to count to begin things here on first base, number 26, Aaron Perkins. Again, Wapahani has really played some pretty solid baseball here for the most part. Dudley, at least to this point, has pitched very good. Already an 0-2 count here on Perkins. And, that's what you want to see, from this young man. He's coming out here. I think, at least to my knowledge, this is his first varsity start. From a pitching standpoint. And, you want to be able to build his confidence, getting the experience, build his confidence, and hopefully as the season goes along and as the years go along, things will just keep getting better and better for him and the Raiders. But very, very impressive job so far here from this young man, Nolan Dudley. Raiders have had the bats out here this evening as well. 6 hits so far in the ball game. Go along with it was 5 runs. Defense has been solid. So far, every facet of the game, the Raiders have done a pretty good job of here. Base running, I think for the most part, it's been pretty good. So that pitch is low. So now 2 balls and 2 strikes here on Aaron Perkins. Caught the outside part of the plate. And another one that's very close. Perkins obviously didn't like it, but Dudley and the Raiders did, and that's all that matters. So Perkins strikes out looking for the second time of the day. And now we'll have second baseman Sam Buchanan. And they're called a strike, 0-1. Low there now, 1 ball and 1 strike. Buchanan is in his first plate appearance back there in the 3rd inning. Struck out looking. So that's another ball low. Now 2-1. Swung on and missed. Now strike 2. Even a count up here, 2 balls and 2 strikes. That's one thing, really, for the most part, that I've really liked about Nolan here today. He's been able to get ahead of his hitters. He really hasn't got behind too often and struck out another one. Buchanan strikes out looking for the second time today. So 2 up and 2 down here for the Bearcats so far. Now we'll see left fielder number 25, Larry Lampkins, now standing in. End up getting a 2-strike base hit in the 3rd. So 1-0 to begin things here on Lampkins. The pitch from Dudley will be fouled off and into the dugout over there of the Raiders. Got to watch yourself over there, fellas. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Nice pitch there from Dudley, painting the black there on the outside part of the plate. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. I see him go with something off speed right here. Ends up going back with the hard stuff there, and that's going to be in there for a ball. So the count stands 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Nobody on here in the top of the 5th inning. Here's the pitch. And I'm not quite sure where that missed right there. That's been a call that's been made pretty much the entire ball game here. Maybe it was just a little too far outside. So the payoff pitch, and that will draw a walk there of Lampkins. So that will be the first walk of the day issued by Dudley. Tell you what, it's really quite something here. Lampkins, and then now the next hitter now standing at the plate, Jared Willis, is really the only 2 guys that's really had anything going here on Nolan Dudley here today. Those 2 guys have been really the only 2 guys that's been able to get on base. Maybe here and there, you might get a decently hit baseball, but those are really the only 2 guys that's, like I said, being able to get on base. Lampkin scored his last time up, so we'll see what happens here now. So Jared Willis with a 1-0 count on him. Dudley will come to the set, and the pitch. Ball away, now 2-0. After the little heart-to-heart conversation there between Lipscomb and Dudley, we'll get back to things there. Another pickoff move back over there as Lampkin safely at first. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 out, and 1 on here in the top of the 5th inning. Again, Wapahani with a 5-1 lead, as that one's going to be fouled off to the right side out of play. And fouled down the right side again, out of play. So now the count at an even 2 balls and 2 strikes rather. Again, Willis on the day, 2 for 2 with a single and a double. Pickoff move again. Lampkin's back in there safely at first. Here's the pitch from Nolan. And in the left field, Brozier there, and will make the catch for the 3rd and final out of the inning. So the Raiders shut down the Bearcats here in the top of the 5th as they get no runs on no hits, no errors, and 1 left on as we'll head to the bottom half of the 5th again. The Raiders with a 5-1 lead. Back out of the timeout here, a 5-1 lead here for the Raiders. We enter the bottom half of the fifth inning with the heart of the lineup up here, 4, 5, and 6 hitters. And Brevin Rivers will lead off this bottom half of the fifth inning. Brevin so far here on the day, 0 for 1, had a sacrifice ground out in the first inning and then grounded out to the third baseman back in the third. So looking to get his first hit of the ball game right here, right now. Again, back out there again is Zach Garrett for Muncie Central. Pitched 2/3 of an inning there to end the fourth. So he came on in relief there of Mr. Gonzalez. So Garrett will come as a set, and here's the 0-1. Outside there to even things up here, to ball and a strike. And that's going to be laced in the left field. Now we'll get down in there for a hit. So way to lead things off there by Brevin Rivers. So Brevin there again with his first hit of the evening. And now we'll see the third baseman, number 22, Braxton Davis, now standing in. Davis, 1 for 1, had a sacrifice fly and an RBI back there in the first inning. Then a single, a 2-out single in the third. So we'll see what the Raiders can cook up here in the fifth. Already a good start here. Now 1-0 to begin things here on Davis. Pickoff move. Rivers back in there safely at first. And there, a ball. So 2 balls and no strikes here on the Raiders' third baseman. There's a very good hitter's count right here. We'll see what it is. And another one outside now, 3-0. Nice eye right there by Davis. Got to make it your pitch in that situation. You don't just want to swing at anything. You want to make sure it's something you can drive. And that's ball 4. So a leadoff hit and now a walk. We'll put the runners now at first and second, with the 6th hitter in the lineup, pitcher number 16, Nolan Dudley. Dudley was hit by a pitch in the first and then drew a walk in the third. Tell you what, you put something right there. Don't be surprised if he puts a charge into the baseball. And there on the outside part of the plate. Called a strike, now 0-1. So again, Wapahani right now, 5 runs on 7 hits. No errors. Muncie Central, 1 run on 3 hits and no errors. Or actually, pardon me, 2 errors. That's my fault. Fouled back, and now a 1 ball and 2 strike count here on Dudley. Again, still nobody out with 2 on here in the bottom half of the fifth. Another one fouled back and out of play. So the count will remain at 1 ball and 2 strikes here on the Raiders pitcher, Nolan Dudley. Right back up the middle and into center field. Rivers going to chug around third base and head on in there, safe at home, standing up. And then we'll have Davis now at third. So a nice piece of hitting there by Nolan Dudley, helping himself there, so to speak, with a RBI single that again scores Brevin Rivers after he led off the inning with a single. And then the walk to Davis. And then the RBI single there from Dudley. They always say walks will come back to haunt you. And, well, that's what ended up happening right there. But it wasn't not only the walk, but the leadoff single to get things going there by Rivers. So great job right there. Now a 6-1 lead here for the Raiders. As it's 0-1 now here on the Raiders right fielder number 10, Seth Adams. Adams here on the day, 0 for 1. Drew a walk in the second inning. And then flew out to the left fielder back in the third. So no balls and 1 strike. And a pickoff back over there safely will be Henderson. Again, courtesy run in there for Nolan Dudley. Following Adams will be Roush. And then Brozier. Still nobody out. And now strike 2 as he offered at the pitch. And Adams did not go, so that's a ball away. 1 ball and 2 strikes here on Adams with a great opportunity right here to cash in here for your Raiders. Up 6-1, looking to put more across, and that's going to plunk him on the backside. So way to take one there for the team there, Seth Adams, as that will now load the bases. You got now Davis at third, Henderson at second, and now Adams at first with the shortstop number 5, Evan Roush, standing in. And to be quite honest with you, I'm a little surprised that the coach there from Muncie Central didn't come out here and have a little chat with his pitcher. You know, you're in a dangerous situation right here of this really being a very lopsided game rather quickly. But trusting in his pitcher there, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully Roush can cash in right here. He's had a nice day at the plate, 1 for 2. Fouled out to the first baseman in the second inning. And had a single in the fourth. A little squeeze right there, and nobody there at first base. Was late getting over there, then he had to throw it. Then the the first baseman dropped the ball. Not sure that they was going to be able to get him there anyway. So it reloads the bases. So a nice little suicide squeeze put on there by Roush. That's a job well done. So Davis scored on the play. Henderson now at third. Adams at second. And Roush again there at first as it's a ball low in the dirt. 1-0 to begin things here on the Raiders left fielder, Isaiah Brozier. Here's a 1-0. That's going to be skied to the left side and out of play. Outside there, just missing. So now 2-1 the count here for Brozier. He's had a nice day as well here from the plate, 1 for 2. Had a single, and then struck out. That's going to get by the pitcher. Kind of in no man's land here, and the shortstop didn't even take a look at first. So that worked out well there. A infield single there for Brozier. So now an 8-1 ball game. So Henderson scored on the play. Adams advances on to third. Roush to second. Again, Brozier at first. And if we can just put 3 more runs up on the board, the best thing is we're going to head right back there to the top of the lineup. So a pitching change here for the Muncie Central Bearcats. Again, an 8-1 lead as the Raiders are still threatening here in the bottom half of the fifth. The bases are loaded, nobody out. We'll be back right after this pitching change.
When you need legal advice or representation, you can trust B. Joseph Davis, attorney at law in Muncie. Our focus is personal injury. We handle cases involving serious injuries, wrongful deaths, all vehicle crashes, nursing home cases, medical product and drug recalls, and slips, trips, and falls. No fee until we win. We offer evening, weekend, home, and hospital appointments for your convenience. Contingency fee arrangements are available. For a free consultation, call B. Joseph Davis, attorney at law, today.
Stop on in at Jones Auto Body, owned by J.R. Fain in the 1901 East Memorial Drive in Muncie, Indiana. Jones Auto Body is one of Muncie's oldest and largest auto repair and paint shops, in which they have been serving the community for over 30 years. Jones Auto Body, assurance of quality. Welcome back here to the WHS Network here on YouTube.com. Again, I'm Brandon Morvillius right here with you today. Is going to have, again, a new pitcher here for the Muncie Central Bearcats. It's going to be number 4, Ryan Johnson. Still getting him warmed up. Just the changes here. Want to make sure that all of them are straight here. Ryan Johnson moved from shortstop to the pitcher's mound. And then Zach Garrett will go back to catching. So again, he started out as catcher, then went to the mound, now back behind the plate again. And then Dylan Gonzalez moved from behind the plate now out to shortstop. So that's the overall defensive changes here for Muncie Central. Kind of ran themselves here into quite a few unfortunate predicaments here for themselves. But the Raiders, again, looking to capitalize off of it. You're up 8-1. You still got the bases loaded. Nobody out here in the inning. I'm not quite sure if not really quite sure if this guy's ever pitched before or not. I'm not with the his, I guess, pitching regimen there that he was going through, his routine. Didn't look like it's something that you would normally practice, but hey, I guess everybody's got to do things a little bit differently every now and again. Nothing wrong with that, I suppose.
Number 15, Garrett Stanley.
So the pitching change now over with. We will have, again, Ryan Johnson now on the mound here for the Bearcats. We will have Garrett Stanley now at the plate. 2 for 2 here on the date so far, with a run scored, also a walk. And so we'll see what happens here. If the Raiders put 3 more runs up on the board, then it will be the old ball game, as Adams will score a run right there. The ball went all the way there to the backstop. So a wild pitch, scores another run. So 1 ball and no strikes here on Stanley. And right here with 1 good old swing of the bat, little base hit, will send everyone home happy, except for the opposing fans, that is. So 2 balls and no strikes, now 3-0. And Roush will be out at home plate. Kind of surprised that he went on that one, especially with the ricocheted that the ball bounced right back the way that it did. But unfortunate situation there. So now there's one out here in the inning. Stanley still at the plate, 3-0 the count. And that will be ball 4. So Stanley marches on down for his 4th time of the day on base after a 4-pitch walk. And now the second base, number 21, Riley Porter, now at the plate. And if I was a betting man, I would say that Stanley will probably be running on this first pitch. Just kind of a hunch I got there. So he's off and going. So again, that puts another runner in scoring position. So we're right back essentially where we was just at a few moments ago. You still have now Brozier at third, Stanley at second, Porter at the plate, 1 ball, no strikes. And they're going to go ahead and intentionally walk Riley Porter. So that's going to bring to the plate Tyson Lipscomb. And, to be quite frank with you, that's not exactly who I would want to see in the batter's box with the bases loaded and only 1 out in the inning. I somewhat understand why they did that. That puts the force out at home plate, also puts the double play in order. But that's not exactly something that I'm sure they're very comfortable with. But I guess you got to do with what you can with the cards you're at hand right now with. That's going to land all the way there to the backstop once again. Now 2-0 the count here on Lipscomb. So the 2-0 pitch will be a ball outside now, 3-0. So again, Stanley just walked on 4 pitches. Then they intentionally walked Porter. And that's going to be another 4-pitch walk again now for Lipscomb. So the Raiders put another run up on the board to now make it 10-1. Easiest RBI of the day right there. So Brozier scores.
The first baseman, number 17, Brevin Rivers.
And in there calling a strike, 0-1 here on Brevin Rivers. He let it all off here in the bottom of the 5th inning with a single, then scored. And a deep drive to left center field. And holy cow, the center fielder nearly had that one, but that's going to score the winning run. And the Raiders will win it by a final score of 11-1. So a RBI single, if you will, there for Rivers, even though that would have been more than likely a double and then probably 3 RBIs to go along with it. But a great way to end the ball game right there. The Raiders are able to plate 6 runs here in the bottom half of the 5th inning to win this one by the mercy rule. So, folks, we'll step aside here for a break, and we'll be back here with more on our Raiders Live post-game report coming up on the WHS Network. All righty, welcome back here, ladies and gentlemen, to the Raiders Live post-game report. As you see there on your screen, the Wapahani Raiders here on the smiling side of the scoreboard here this evening with a 11-1 final score victory over the Muncie Central Bearcats. The Raiders played at 6 runs there in the bottom half of the fifth inning, all led off there by Brevin Rivers, and essentially ended by Brevin Rivers as well. Got the RBI single to win it here in the bottom half of the fifth inning. So now your Wapahani Raiders improved to 3-0 on the season. Muncie Central now falls 2-0-2. The Raiders here on the evening had 11 runs here on 10 hits, also no errors, and 4 left on base, while Muncie Central here on the other side of things didn't exactly fare too well. They end up having 1 run here on 3 hits, also 3 left on base, and 3 errors for the ball game. And so again, best of luck there to Muncie Central throughout the rest of their season. But the Raiders, again, will be back at it next week. I think that they have Randolph Southern maybe on Monday or Tuesday. I'm not 100% sure on that. But we'll post more of that on our Facebook and Twitter pages, just to kind of update you guys on the upcoming schedule for next week. We got Lady Raider softball as well going on, so it should be a pretty busy week next week. And like I said, as we hit the ground running with the Raider baseball and Lady Raider softball seasons ramping up quick, fast, and in a hurry. So again, your winning pitcher here this evening, Nolan Dudley, having a fantastic game here for himself. Went out there, not only did he get ahead of hitters, but he only walked one guy. He kept the ball in the zone, made them more or less swing at his pitch. And, again, and that's all started by getting ahead of his hitters, hitting his spots, and really was in command of the strike zone. He had a couple times there where it might have been a little wild, but really for the most part there, a pretty clean game there for Nolan, and something to build off of. This, at least to my knowledge, is the very first start of his career at the varsity level. And so, you got to kind of knock the rust off, so to speak, just from not pitching. But not only that, building some confidence and just building off of what he was able to do here today to go into your next start and having that confidence and the understanding of what you got to do. And really worked out well for him. The hitting, as usual, was great. Base running, really for the most part, was right on point as well. He was for the most part smart on the base passes. Defense, spectacular as usual. Pitching, like I said, was great. So every facet of the game, we did a very good job of here this evening. So now you just look forward. You look forward to do even better your next time around, coming up next week. So a good first broadcast here for us. Like I said, a little unorthodox. Kind of took me. It's taken me a little bit here to get back into the swing of things, especially with baseball now. You're still doing basketball, so thanks for bearing with me here this evening. It probably wasn't the best broadcast. Like I said, far from the camera view, this is the best we could do here today. But gosh, we sure do appreciate you all for joining us and watching us and supporting Raider sports and this Raider baseball team, as well as the Lady Raider softball team throughout this season. So make sure and catch all the action right here on the WHS Network here on YouTube.com. So we appreciate you all for joining us. Again, I'm Brandon Warvilius. We'll see you next time right back here on the WHS Network. Have a great weekend, folks.